Good afternoon, welcome to Camnet TV Midday News. I am Precious Mzea Sakaleji. The headlines. Government denies abandoning its promises as citizens lament over the hike in fuel prices. The PF charges that the UPND is not ready to serve the people. Join me with the details after this commercial.
Team, the trajectory of the business looks very positive, and it looks like we'll be able to launch the country.
There's so much data.
Mom?
Yes, baby?
It says here, global warming and climate change is caused by the pollution from careless activities of human beings.
Wow!
Son, do you know I can turn my phone into a TV remote?
How's that possible?
It's so easy. Check this out.
Be smart, be fast with mega data from Zamtel. Get your 15 GB mobile data for only 100 kwacha, 30 GB mobile data for only 200 kwacha, and your 70 GB LTE data bundle with free Netflix, YouTube, Facebook, and WhatsApp. Visit our Facebook page, website, or service centers countrywide for more information. Zamtel, your digital lifestyle partner.
And now the media news in detail. Vice President Mtali Nalumango says the government has not abandoned its promises to reduce the cost of living and fuel prices as people lament over the recently revised fuel prices. ERB has adjusted petroleum products by 4 kwacha 54 ngwe per litre for petrol and 4 kwacha 68 ngwe per litre for diesel, while kerosene has been adjusted by 3 kwacha 93 ngwe. And some members of the general public have told Camnet News that the fluctuating fuel prices are negatively affecting their livelihoods. Those interviewed by Camnet TV News say the cost of living is already high, thus wondering how they will survive in the wake of the anticipated increase in the prices of essential commodities.
They understand that the cost of living is too high. Vintu vadula. Every week, mitengo ya vintu ichinja. Every week. Manje ma salary yama chinja every week. Yeah. Salary yankala constant for a year. If you are lucky, once in a year you have an increment. But mitengo ikwela every week. Banga kare banji bantu, banga konze banji manyumba, banga sunge banji banja. Vikwati bayamba kuononge.
Agony, discomfort, agitation and disappointment has engulfed many Zambians in the wake of the fuel hike by the Energy Regulation Board, ERB, prompting many Zambians to think they misunderstood President Hakainde Hichilema when he assured cheap fuel and 3 meals a day during the August 12 general election campaign trail.
Names are Piri Jaffet. Issue of fuel, it has just gone too much high, and we don't expect the economy to pick up in this way because fuel is the key of everything. When fuel goes high, even our local foods will be higher, especially our staple food will be higher, meal will go high, everything has to go high. And even ourselves with transport here, it has become difficult to be charging people like 10 kwacha. Some of them are refusing.
We were many issues that because of for that we fakira of people then want to pause some ranka new new prices.
The ERB has adjusted petroleum products by 4 kwacha 54 ngwe per litre for petrol and 4 kwacha 68 ngwe per litre for diesel, while kerosene has been adjusted by 3 kwacha 93 ngwe. The major direct consequence is the increase in transport, given that the majority poor Zambians depend on the public transport, which is in the hands of the private sector. And before the new prices are announced, the burden has already been shifted to commuters. Negotiations for a minimum fee have done nothing but subject commuters to embarrassment with an available option of walking, thus hindering productivity.
About the fuel, so they're asking about 5 quarters. So us here, as a taxi driver, the fuel up, there's been hike.
So how much are you now charging?
Yeah, we have just, because the fuel has gone high, it's about 10 quarters. So first of all, we have increased the price.
But the customers are refusing?
Yeah, some they're complaining, like these ones also, they're asking about 5 quarters. So us, for instance, we are, on the port, on the port about 4. Us taxi drivers, we carry about 4 people. Okay, now if you go on this side, here from here, Camnet it's about 2.5 kilometers. Okay, now for us to make the profit, there's no profit. So they have just decided to increase about 10 quarters of 1 capacity.
In Batod, Kabushi constituency, lawmaker Bowman Lusambo shared his views on the subject of fuel.
He failed to buy the 5.5 kg bag of minimum. Even the Kapamela he was condemning, and that cooking oil was condemning. People can't afford even Pamela today. We talked about climate change. Aka in the HM and the UPND, they started laughing at us. No, you have just failed. There's nothing like that. There's no climate change. There's no global warming. It's just a whole excuse. They even went further to condemn us on the COVID-19, if you recall very well. How can we agree today that all these increments which we are seeing in fuel, it's because of Russia-Ukraine conflict?
During the Vice President question time, Ms. Nalumango made the following remarks.
The promises were extremely genuine, and we will strive to make the lives of Zambians better. Yes, it increased yesterday, but for us, it is as a result of external factors upon which we have no control.
The fuel increase translates into a rise in the price of essential commodities, hence the need to identify coping remedies. Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
The God Party of Zambia has charged that the upward adjustment of fuel pump prices announced by the Energy Regulation Board ERB will further sentence more of our people into the abyss of poverty and economic hardship. Party President Jackson Silavwe notes that the government has shown no plan to deal with this matter even before external influence like the war in Ukraine and Russia. He has accused the UPND administration of running away from the critical thinking by choosing a non-reaction mode. Mr. Silavwe has therefore called on President Hakainde Hichilema to address the nation and announce homegrown alternative interventions to stabilize the economy and markets in both the short, medium and long term.
We want to say that there is something that can be done locally to make sure that we stabilize the economy as well as the business environment. We've seen presidents, including the President of the United States of America yesterday. He addressed the nation and put up measures to ensure that the US economy is stable. We've seen also other presidents and prime ministers in Europe also doing the same. I think the president should address the nation where he's going to put up local intervention measures to what is currently obtaining on the market. It is not enough to just say nothing can be done. There's always something that can be done. As a party, we've proposed before that can we increase spending power to the workers at household level so that people can be able to spend more and meet the high cost of living. We can do that. We can set up a committee of high-level management experts to look into these issues and make appropriate recommendations to the government. One of the things also the government can do is to review the cost of doing business in the country. I think it's abnormal that in the face of reduced production, by businesses, that we still maintain the very taxes that are prevalent when the economy is doing very well. So there is a lot that can be done by the government if they really listen to the people and what the people are saying.
Opposition Patriotic Front Acting President Given Luwinda has charged that United Party for National Development Administration is not here to offer its service to the country, but still an opportunity of doing business. Speaking shortly at the Lusaka Magistrate Court grounds when he went to offer his solidarity to PF Media Chairperson Raphael Nakachinda, Mr. Luwinda says the current administration has no intention of serving the interest of the people, looking at the current economic situation. Meanwhile, Mr. Luwinda disclosed that the PF is building itself into becoming the only alternative political party in the country by the year 2026. Earlier, Lusaka Magistrate Jennifer Walia adjourned the case where PF Media Chairperson for Publicity Raphael Nakachinda is accused of defaming President Hakainde Hichilema following the state's failure to prosecute the matter.
Friday morning, the Lusaka's Magistrate Court was observed to be packed with opposition Patriotic Front cases when PF member Dr. Chishimba Kambri, who had gone to hear his alleged defamation of the president case against the former president Edgar Lungu, bumped into PF Media Chairperson for Publicity Raphael Nakachinda, who is also accused of defamation of the president. Coming back to Mr. Nakachinda's case, where he's accused of defaming the Republican President Hakainde Hichilema, drama characterized the turn of events Friday morning as the state failed to prosecute the case following challenges to lead its witness, a journalist from Crown TV. A situation that saw Lusaka Magistrate Jennifer Walia give the case an early adjournment to allow the state to put its house in order. This is in a matter in which Mr. Nakachinda is facing one count of defamation of the president, contrary to the laws of Zambia. He is alleged to have accused the head of state of summoning judges at his private residence, intimidating and coercing them to frustrate PF legal battles. And speaking shortly after his appearance, Mr. Nakachinda says there is need to ensure the principle of separation of power is enhanced.
There's a commitment, a radical commitment to defend our democracy. Obviously, to ensure that the principle of separation of powers is enhanced. The silver line between the executive, the judiciary, the legislature, which is parliament, should never be eroded.
Meanwhile, acting PF President Given Luwinda had this comment.
This is all because they have an insatiable appetite for business. The people who are governing this country today are not service people, they are business people. They are into this for business. This is more the reason why when Zambia is capable of growing its own poles for electricity, they go and contract foreign companies. They want to externalize dollars from Zambia to go to Zimbabwe and South Africa. And they say that they are thinking about Zambia. They are not concerned about the welfare of Zambians. These Zambians, you must know. Praise singers, time has come for you to also be realistic. Don't just go about singing praises without you understanding that on a daily basis the cost of living for you too is getting more and more expensive. Let us wake up, Zambians.
He further disclosed that the PF is building itself to ensure that it becomes the only alternative political party.
To even say we're regrouping is not correct. What we're doing is building. We're building ourselves to become the only alternative in this country. And there is no question about it. Look at how all the promises have been broken. All of them. I said once, please, if indeed we store 3 kwacha on a price of fuel of 15 kwacha, now that the price of fuel is 26 kwacha today, can you tell me who is stealing the 11 kwacha? Tell us who is stealing the 11 kwacha now that the price of fuel is 26 kwacha. And by the way, if you look at the international price of fuel today, there is no justification whatsoever for the fuel in Zambia to cost 26 kwacha.
Miriam Kaimba reporting for Camnet TV News.
The New Heritage Party NHP has urged newly appointed commissioners at the Human Rights Commission to investigate various human rights violations mainly instituted by political party cadres. Party Secretary General Edwin Zulu says this will serve as a warning to would-be offenders and send sound advice to the authority. Mr. Zulu says the country still has many human rights concerns, including the slow pace at which cases are being handled, starting with police stations to the courts. President Hakainde Hichilema on Monday appointed human rights commissioners, among the Alliance for Community Action SEA Executive Director Laura Miti.
In prisons, not many have been visited by these lawyers or these human rights to see the conditions that they are living at. And also, we in the community or in the compounds and Kumayadi have also not been attended to because we fear to go to these people because we don't know maybe our rights, so to speak. So we want also the human rights to actually delve into the Bill of Rights, freedom of association, assembly, movement, right to privacy, because it seems like some people that are tasked to do this work abuse people or do it overzealously, so to speak. And so these human rights commissioners must be on the ground, not only workshops in towns or in hotels, but they must come to the ground, they must come to the compounds and speak to it, see to it, and that these issues are done well and people's grievances are addressed to them.
Well, that news item brings us to the end of Camnet TV and Midday News, but before we go, here are the headlines once again. Government denies abandoning its promises as citizens lament over the hike in fuel prices. The PF charges that the UPND is not ready to serve the people. Thank you for watching. I am Precious Mzea Sakaleji. Good afternoon.